Hello and welcome. My name is Odera Onu. I'm having a bit of issues, so I'm going back and forth with this. But then today I want to speak on Nigeria's security situation. And like I said, I want to speak to the holistic high MEC, the official. So today I want to speak to the holistic Nigeria security situation rather than the pockets of issues here and there. And the reason I say this is, instead of me dwelling on what is happening in different states, let me speak to the whole national security issue. Most times when people hear security, they tend to think about the police, the boots on ground, the kinetic force. Well, most people don't understand that if things are going well, right, you won't even need to get to the point of using force on the people, because government is supposed to be a contract, right? And the contract is supposed to be with the people. The people maintains law and order, hi Mr. Common Sense, and then the government is supposed to do what? Use their tax, right, to develop the land, build roads, build infrastructure, and then that way the contract, the society is working, right? Now, the people will be fine with maintaining law and order as far as the government is keeping to their own end. Now, in a case where that trust is broken, what you now have is anarchy, or people will start going into crime. Now, if government is doing what they should, now the people will be happy to be giving them the taxes, giving them their trust. And that's why a lot of people listen to NTA, or a lot of people listen to Channel, or a lot of people listen to Arise, because they want to keep hearing from the government to make sure that they are still in sync with what they said they would do, to make sure that they are still doing, they are still keeping their own side of the agreement or their own side of the contract. So as far as, and that's why even middle class, upper class people pay attention. They want to know what the government is saying about a particular issue. They want to know how government is responding to a particular call or a particular incident. So the reason we do this is, or people do this, is to make sure that contract is still there. Now, in a case whereby, sorry, my phone just moved. In a case whereby you have the, the government not being accountable or not being held accountable, what happens is that the people say, okay, you're not being held accountable. They go off and do whatever they want to do. And that's why you have more crime in the society. You have people going, to fend for themselves, and they say the government don't care about us, we do whatever we like. But if you look at developed countries where there is accountability, where government take things serious, they look at this contract with them and the people and make sure they don't falter. That's why you have a lot of people in all these developed countries pay their taxes, do what they're supposed to do, stop at red lights, do their cleanup, look after their area, because they know the government is also being held accountable and the government is doing what they should. And it's quite important that we understand this. It's quite important that we understand that, when we speak on security, security does not start and end with forces. It does not start and end with police and military. Sometimes if government do what they should, peace will be a natural thing. Peace will be an almost, normalized thing. Do you understand? Now, when you look at countries like third world countries where there is a lot of corruption, looting, and people blowing sirens and going and depending on their security outfit to protect them, that is where you have more crime, more breakdown of law and order, and more anarchy in the society. So I'm saying this to say that if we must secure Nigeria, then the government needs to understand that they have a contract with the people. Now, in a case whereby we see all the rubbish that goes on with the judiciary, Supreme Court judges appointing their children to become, SANs and stuff, and then you look at what's going on with the INEC, you look at the impunity there, you look at what is going on with the legislature, you look at the way they are padding and distributing money amongst themselves, it seems as if there is no hope. Now, the people look at it, high gift. The people look at it and start, thinking like, why should we do the right thing if these people are not doing the right thing? If I see a way of sabotaging the national revenue source, I will do it because they are looting. So why can't I loot? And this is what brings all the situation that goes on in the country, especially the bad situations. So what we need to do as a people is for our government to understand that's if the government recognizes they have the contract with the people, Nigerian government done. Yes. And it's not just Nigerian government, it's any government. That's a universal principle. Whether you are practicing democracy or you're practicing autocracy or you're practicing a monarch system, you need to hold yourself accountable. You need to understand that you have a following. You need to understand you are responsible for the lives and property of the people. Now, the moment you start failing in those things, now the people will not see any reason to, first of all, have trust in you. Number two, obey your law and orders or follow your precepts. And you now see that there is more crime in the society. More so, there is also impossibility of government policing the whole country. For example, the total of all the forcemen in Nigeria, military, police, ICPC, EFCC, according to Ali Ndume, is still less than 1 million to 250 million Nigerians, right? Now, that tells you that it's impossible. It is highly impossible for Nigeria to be policed or for the military to be able to quell the violence if these natural causes don't come into play. If the government don't do their bidding or part of the contract for Nigeria to follow a peaceful route, then you will find out that, look at Abia State. You will find out that Abia State will be the state with the least crime. By the time they will do the statistics, you will see that it will become the state with the least crime because they are looking at the government and they are saying that this government is working. So once you see that the government is working, what then happens is that the people will also get busy. When it comes to their tax, they will pay their tax peacefully. They will pay their tax higher, bro. They will pay their tax knowing fully well that the governments are going to use that money effectively. But in a case whereby all we hear is the Senate are stealing money, padding contracts, all we hear is that judiciary are being nepotic, what do you call, appointing their children to SAN and all of that, then people will just start doing whatever they like. So we need to understand that the whole security situation in Nigeria is more or less orchestrated by the way the government, the body language of the government, and the way they are showing their dirty linen outside. Now people get to hear billions being announced on TV, and they look around their society, they look around their constituency, or they look around their towns, their villages, their states, and they cannot see the effect of those monies. Now, what they look is, if there's a way for them to sabotage the revenue of the government, they will do it. Because they find out that it's each one for himself. These people are not coming to save us. We might as well save ourselves. Now, I am one of the people that said that from this March, FX will start increasing. And rightly so, they are saying that Naira is appreciating from what we see against the dollar. Right? Abu, I'm accepting your request. I don't know why. So, what do you say? The Naira is appreciating like I envisaged because Gatwick, because LPC is now. Bro. Alpha.
I'm very good.
Whenever I see you, I'm tempted to speak Igbo, but I'm going to continue in English.
No, that's fine, man. The language is always accepted.
Yes. So, Abra, I'm talking about Nigeria's security situation, and I'm looking at it from a different view, right? We don't have enough police to police the whole of Nigeria because once you have, the army turning their attention to one part, before you know it, they will start kidnapping from other parts. And that's because even though the Hausas have been in power for many years in Nigeria, the North is still one of the most poverty-stricken places. And the reason is that when these people look around, they hear all the money that these government people make, but they cannot see it in effect in their communities, in their villages, in their towns. And that's why they just choose to have law, breakdown of law and order. As against, if you compare, places like Abia State, where Alex Oti is working, you find out that people in Aba potentially will be happy to pay their taxes and go about their businesses because they know Alex Oti is working. So,
Yeah,
another,
but when
yeah,
you know about not having enough, every time I hear about that Nigeria does not have enough personnel and security personnel and all those things, I laugh. You know why I laugh? Let's assume now have 300. How many is following president? How many?
that's what Alindume said.
How many is following Senate
How
president?
many is following
How,
Senate? He said
sorry to
every
say,
senator have about
sorry
10.
to say this. Somebody like E-Money, how many is following him?
And how many times have they withdrawn all those ones and they will still see them again with them?
We saw a video where a policeman is holding food or bringing food
For an
to
Hollywood actress.
to a first lady or something like that. At
Okay.
all these Nollywood actors and actresses, how many? What is their contribution to the economy?
It's bad.
Yeah. How
It's
many
bad.
police? When they say Nigeria does not have enough and all those things. But you have lived in this country more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen a local councillor with a police? I'm talking about a local councillor. Then how many times have you seen an MP? Okay, let's compare this what is name the
No,
level.
the thing is that they will tell you that you should not compare Nigeria with UK. That's
But
what they
we
will
are
tell you.
comparing the naira with we're comparing everything with other
But
people.
they will compare what the senators are getting with what American senators are getting.
That
That's the problem.
the
So,
issue of insecurity in Nigeria, I will always say it anywhere, anytime. Northerners, they know what they are doing. You see all this kidnapping of a thing. It's just a business.
but
It's just
it's
don't
not just in the north. I mean, look at what happened
yeah.
in Delta State. Look at what happened. Look at what's happening in the east. Look at what's happening in the west.
I
It's
sent
gone everywhere.
I sent you a video. I don't know if you watched that video I sent to you. That is on the line. I sent you a video. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
watched. There's one guy that make a comment about army. You know, what happened in Delta State is something that Nigeria army don't want to tell us, and nobody
Is
will.
it the
You
guy
see that?
that was saying? Is it the guy that was saying it's Stompolo that sent?
Yes. You see that investigation they said go and do and all those things. Nothing will come out.
They've refused people to come into that
So
place. They've refused even
they
police
stopping
commissioner.
journalists? Why are they stopping journalists to go over there?
But look at it. I don't know the details of those, and it's a very sensitive issue. I don't want to go into. You see, investigations are going on. We've seen somebody who come up to say what he said, and is on the internet space. But at the end of the day, the way people are so unpatriotic with Nigeria, even if it's mercenary, even if anybody see them, that person might even cover for them. The way, because people don't feel like they have any. I've seen people say it in public on lives that if you are military, don't. In fact, even that guy said it. He said, "You don't fight for Nigeria. Why should you fight for Nigeria?" He said his father was a captain. So this is where people are coming from. If you see people that their parents served in Nigerian military or served in or themselves are serving, you will see how there is no patriotism. Because at the end of the day, you look at our politicians, the way they are sharing money, and you ask yourself, and I'm the one shooting and collecting bullets, and these guys are sitting there and they're having fun sharing money. That alone can discourage, and that is what I want Nigerians. I saw a video today because one of the things that we face abroad is that whenever we hear news, there will be a counter news.
Mm.
Somebody will come and say, are going to Qatar. Another news will come out and say Qatar said they don't recognize Nigeria as coming. So sometimes we know all these things. Oh, there is student loan. Oh, there is no student loan again. Oh, a student loan is fast another bill. So there is always conflicting news. Nigerian government need to get it right. Since APC took over, since the time of Lai Mohammed, all the news we are hearing in Nigeria is questionable. And it's a very, very bad thing. When government speaks, it's supposed to be like written in the stone immediately. Government supposed not to, when they speak, then people will question it and they will find out that there's loopholes in those things.
You know,
Do you understand?
we are talking about the security. Yes, I listened to President saying that he's not gonna negotiate with the bandits. Is for me, I think that is the only thing that this president ever said that I will say to you that yes, I'm happy. You know,
No, if it is
negotiating with the
trying,
bandits.
I think Tinubu. And again, I find it difficult to say I think he's trying because again, I wanted to say something before I started talking about how much weight does what government say in Nigeria carry? Because they will say one thing and they will say another thing. Because I saw something before coming on this live where this fair boy, I don't know his name, this white boy in government was saying that the government said they are going to cut
There is the advisor.
Something in Canada, fair boy. He said that the president has said that he's cutting the cost of governance. If president is going
buying Nigerian products.
No. He said that if president is going to any state, for example, they are going to cut the entourage and all of that. Yeah. Now, it's supposed to be done because you can't be saying you don't have money and then your security details. If Tinubu is passing, it's almost like 100 cars. I mean, there is no need for that excessive this, and the running cost of those kind of movements is too high. So I think that's what he's getting at, right? Now, if truly they are going to implement it, that would be good. But it's like when they said they are going to merge ministries. They said they are going to merge ministries together. Later, we didn't see any ministries being merged again.
It's only Rufai that said that. Rufai said it, that it's not about merging ministers and all those things. Rufai said that they are just shadowing the same thing. He's just saying that he's measuring a measure, but at the end of the day, what is the cost implication? Are you reducing the cost?
No, but what I'm trying to say is, bro, everybody cannot be on the same page. And I understand how difficult Nigeria is. Because even when they said, when the president said they are going to implement Orosanya's report, some people still came back and said, what are you implementing? It is out of date. Now, sometimes you have to go ahead and do whatever you want to do. You cannot come out and say, we're implementing Orosanya's report, and then you're not implementing anything again. At the end of the day, what then happens is that your words become more like water spilled on the ground. We need to have a government that if they tell us they are going to merge it. If you're saying that you're going to do state police, do state police. If you're going to do student loan, do student loan. Because there's never a time everybody is going to be in agreement with what you say. Instead of us having all these governments, you say one thing, he won't do it, and then they're telling people, Naira is going to appreciate. Speculators still be one. How are you telling speculators to be one? Everything you've said before, have you been doing them? You've not been doing them. So you need to be able to be a government that when you speak, you follow it up with action. So that way, if people now come out and say, we are going to catch those perpetrators of this thing in Delta States, they will know you are serious. Bro, in this country, if government says one thing, immediately all the governments, all the councils are doing that thing immediately.
Yeah.
If they say they are cutting the cost of bill, before you know it, a letter will come through your post saying that they are cutting the cost of gas bill or electric bill. That is the power of government. In Nigeria, government will speak. It is as if you pour water for ground. So that is it. We need to have a government that know what they are doing. And for me, if they are going to merge these ministries, let them merge it. If they are going to do student loan, do it. You can't be a government that say one thing and
if you merge it, is he going to remove his son-in-law? So
exactly. Exactly, these are the questions, because at the end of the day, how do you go about implementing what you say? It is not enough for you to say one thing. It's about following it through. It's about following it through. You cannot be a government of words without action. Like now, you are saying you are going to cut the cost of governance and the entourage and everything. Let's see it happen. Go to your next places or the next place or your listen. Go with few people. Let's see it happen. How many governments of the world, even the governments of Africa, go with the kind of entourage that Nigerian governments travel around with? Those are the questions.
Sorry to say this, yeah. I was on phone with my brother today, you know. You know what he said to me? He said to me that Nigeria, yeah, that if he keep thinking about Nigeria, yeah, he will break down. That what people does now is just go your normal business. Make sure that you are making your profit, making your business, your family is okay. Don't worry about what Nigeria will give you. Now, if you're thinking about Nigeria will be okay, it will totally break down. And when you look at things that are going on, they will tell you that it's not enough. Inside the security, they will tell you there's not enough personnel to guide. Why ministers will hold like 5, 10, and all those things. I listen to Alin Dube is not a senator at all.
The thing is that what Alin Dume said is that if you come to the Nigerian Senate now, he said that there is
everywhere we block protocol security
because the amount of military presence, police escorts, SSS, DSS in that place is too much, because every senator is coming with his own security detail.
According to him, he said that he only have one government signed to him as a senator.
And he told others to go. That is, and now, don't forget, for each senator, they will still get police orderly that will be following the wife. They will still get police detail that will be, and if you ask them, they will tell you it's their money. It's their money because they are going to sessions and they are paying DPO. This is the kind of impunity we have in Nigeria. Now, if that policeman is there and somebody have a current call or an emergency call and call, will that police be able to leave that man and go and answer that call? No. So we have few. The few we have, we are using it for bodyguards. And we don't know the role of bodyguards. Why do you think, why do you think we have bodyguards in the UK and US? Even our celebrities, Burna Boy,
to create job and not to power the security agency, not to overpower.
You know, it takes a lot for you to train. It is okay. Look at this whole thing that happened in this Delta State. Now, we don't know how official that this thing went, because if it was Tompolo that ordered those people to come, anyway, Tompolo is working on behalf of the government. I don't want to go into detail in that conversation. But at the end of the day, if you're a celebrity, use bodyguards. Use private contractors. Use all those like GSS, all those people that wear dress and those costumes with Abobi. Use them. Do you understand? I don't see any reason whereby somebody that is just rich in Nigeria will be going around with somebody who is military trained. Although most of them might be ex-military or ex-police or whatever, then that's fine. But if you are in service,
money alone has like almost about 20 police.
20, imagine. Imagine. So now,
I don't believe.
According to Alin Dume,
I don't believe that we don't have enough. We have enough security.
No, we don't have enough. If everywhere is going pop, right? But the angle I'm coming from is that security is not just about guns and this thing.
Yeah.
Bro, we live in a place whereby we don't see gun. I hardly see gun, but there's police everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's police everywhere, but because if everybody is going about their business, police will have an easy day. Maybe weekends, maybe like today is Friday. Probably they will be busier by this time, or probably later in the night when people go to drink and all of that. Do you understand? But normally in the UK, you have relative peace, apart from some hotspot areas. Now, the reason is the government is doing their own side of the contract. The people are keeping their own side of the contract.
That's true.
But then when there is when there is looting by legislature, you are using 20 billion to do this thing, constituency project, you are padding trillions, and then the people that you are giving guns to go and shoot. That's why even the police probably would like to be escorts. Because my brother, if you are riding with a Davido or you are riding with a Burna Boy, you know, you're gonna get money. If he show you, say the guy go employ you, you go leave service, declare yourself retired, go and work for him. He will employ you. So that is the problem. We need to make the job of the police easier by government doing the right thing, being transparent and accountable. People will trust them. People are watching Channels TV, watching Arise, listening to news to know what the government is saying. How are they responding to the need of the people?
Yeah.
If Tinubu is coming out to say there is a measure, let there be measure. I believe Naira will appreciate. Now that Airpeace is coming to London, we are going to be getting all that money that goes to Ethiopia, that goes to Morocco, that goes to Egypt, that goes to even South Africa. We are going to start getting those money. That goes to BA.
But only if he can, only if he cannot disappoint people and with this.
No, in London, he cannot mess up. This is not Enugu, Lagos. He can't mess up in London. If they give him a time slot, if he's late, he will pay for it.
Only if he can keep the expectation.
No, I'm telling you the honest truth. If Airpeace start flying international now, you know, he started flying, I think, India or Dubai first. International flight is not like local, where they will do you all those things they do in Nigeria. Here, if they are flying to London, their 1 o'clock will be 1 o'clock. Otherwise, do you know how, when I was coming back from, is it Ireland or something? Do you know how planes land?
No, if he miss
my brother,
they will not allow
you know they reach,
again now.
you know they reach 30 seconds, so
Yeah.
you know they reach 30 seconds. Like if you go Heathrow now, sit down, they watch plane. You know they reach 30 seconds, plane they did that wrong way. It ain't busy.
Yeah.
So there's no way.
If you miss your opportunity, you will not land.
There's no way Airpeace will start flying in London and you'll be late. That one is unless he'll be canceling his flight every day. Do you understand? So there is going and people always travel to Nigeria. So what will happen is that there will be influx of that money, so that forex can help the government pay back. So which is why we are hearing that the CBN said that they've paid back the backlog. But now some people are saying, some airlines are saying they've not paid back the backlog.
But they said to them to come out. Nobody ever come out say they never.
But the truth is that, if you ask me, there are some ministries in this regime that are trying. But don't forget, they have to first of all bring the money down to where they made it during Buhari. When Buhari.
IS is where it is now.
No. I believe that if these guys really mean business, Naira can be saved. It's just that their greed and corruption will not let them. But if Tinubu wakes up and become harsh and don't care who is angry, and don't care who he offends, and now be strict and say, all my ministers, I'm cutting down my ministers, I'm cutting down my entourage, I am cutting down the ministries, I am merging ministries. Instead of, this guy came, the first thing he did was to create more. You don't create more, you're cut. So if he can cut this thing, and then they follow through on merging all this legislation, this upper House of Assembly and Senate, merge them into one, and then decide whether they are doing restructuring, because there's no point deploying state police before doing restructure. You first of all restructure and know what your new structure is before you are deploying, whether you are deploying state police or you are deploying whatever. Now, at the end of the day, if Tinubu can manage to do these things, he will have himself a very good legacy. And another thing I'm sensing is that he's falling out with Shetima, because the way that Oyibo guy talk, I mean that fair boy talk, I've forgotten his name. The way that guy talk saying, what's his name?
Something Ngene or something. Ngene.
Now that boy, and the way he spoke, right? You will see that of course there is a rancor between president and vice, because even his wife have accused him of, praying that his wife or praying that his husband will be sick, so you take over. And Shetima is even going around more fit and everything. So now, if that is there, and that's probably the reason why he's saying, Keneko, they are going to be cutting down this thing going to state. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if Tinubu really feel like the North is giving him heat, if Tinubu feel, because Abro, let's face it, part of the reasons of what went down in the Delta State is purely because they are trying to stop that oil bunkering. That is the real deal. There was an army guy that was interviewed on Arise. He's saying that these are the people sabot. That's why they tell you every time that the people doing these things are part of government. In fact, they said that these guys were mercenaries. Do you know what? You have an idea, brother, because so you know what it means to have to be a major. A major. All your life, all you know is how to shoot gun. For 2 majors to be gunned down and a captain and all those guys, 17.
They ambush now. They ambush them.
So it's people that know their ways around the place and people who understand warfare and combatant. That's why they were able to do that. So at the end of the day, if Tinubu really wants to fight, he needs to first of all gain the mind of the people. Gain the mind of the people you are fighting for. Let Nigerians feel like you're on their side. You cannot satisfy people and satisfy your colleague in government. No. You have to, that's what fed Buhari now. Because Buhari was still trying to be lenient and be nice to his people, and those people messed him up. So you have to be strict.
Bro, don't worry about Buhari. Buhari is Buhari right from the time, even when he was in the Diabo government, he's a criminal. So everybody know about that one. When he was
or he's not, and then other people are still on his behalf.
The petroleum minister, 2 billion was missing in his account.
But we saw him with Ghana must go in the airport. Anyway, now
bro, I will leave you. I just came back from work.
Okay. So I'm even rounding up because I'm going to night vigil. I just wanted to quickly say this because I've been, even my Facebook, I don't have access to my Facebook. I've been battling with my social media for days now. Yeah. I had to get a new phone. I'm talking to you now with a brand new phone. My 2 phones were hacked, and man, maybe I will call you later. I will talk.
Okay, no problem. So,
yeah. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, so I'm going to round off soon, but the important thing I want to stress today is that all these things that are happening are because of all these bad eggs in government. And believe you me, the more people are seeing the government as corrupt, are seeing the government as people of distrust or people that we cannot trust, it affects the psyche of the nation. Do you understand? It affects the psyche of the boots on ground of the military men. It affects the psyche of even the religious people. Do you understand? Of the kings, of everybody. So the government have to be accountable to a level. If you say you are going to do anything, implement it. Do it. Don't listen to anybody that is offended or not. And at the end of the day, you're going to make enemies, but people are going to praise you. Look at Olusegun Obasanjo going to go and see Alex Otti. It's because of what Alex Otti is doing. Alex Otti does not care whether he pisses Soji's Okalo off, or whether he pisses Ibazu off, or whether he pisses, what's the name of the other one? All of them that have been past governors. He don't care. As far as he knows that what he's doing is right, it's going to affect him as well. That means he's not going to get pension himself. But Peter Obi said it. Peter Obi said that since he left the governor seat of Anambra State, he has not collected pension. So any past governor should not collect pension. What are you collecting pension for? What are you collecting pension for? You know, you want to collect pension when people are hungry, people are starving. No. Develop the state. If you have done well as a person and you've helped businesses, there are other ways for you to survive. And Alessandro said it is a billionaire. Now, it's not about you coming to air like Tinubu's wife saying, we're a billionaire, we don't need Nigerian money. No. It's like Alex Otti being a billionaire and truly meaning it. Now, Soludo has also come up to say that he has not collected any salary since he started. That's what we mean. You know? So let governments cut down the cost of governance. Let the people see that you are working, or at least you are trying. Let it be like it is the inflation in the whole world that is affecting your government. Then people will start paying attention to you. People will start doing what they should. Because all these things that are happening, the morale of the military men going down is purely because they feel like the government is not working for them or working with them. They feel like they are left alone to eat or spend or live on 50,000 or even 100,000, whereas you guys are going and making away with trillions of naira. So it's sad, and it's sad reality for Nigeria. If you're expecting for anybody to be happy and be patriotic with what is going on in Nigeria now, foul. You have to bring down the cost of fuel. You have to bring down the cost of living. You have to make sure that that housing project you guys created a ministry for, that you are building houses and housing people. All these people that are destitute and people sleeping on top of ghetto and unlivable places in Lagos, those people have to be housed. All those houses that are empty, find a way and fill it up. These are what governments do elsewhere. Governments house their poor people. Governments house their poor masses. Nigeria should do that as well. Our natural resources is enough to pay even benefits to our poor people. Yes. So let government be accountable, and you will see the people maintaining law and order, and police will have an easier life. And all these our security people that are going and being attached to important people, whoever believe they are so important in Nigeria, go and hire private contractors, go and hire bodyguards. There are bodyguards. People who have left the military or left the service, who are now working as private contractors, go and employ them. That's what other countries do. When Burna Boy, Whiskey, Davido, when they come to the UK, they don't get police attached to them. They get bodyguards. But these bodyguards, they are trained with firearm. Some of them are even licensed to shoot. Some of them even have more training than the normal police. Do you understand? Police have to show constraint if you raise your hand. But those guys even are trained to carry firearms, are trained to protect celebrities. So these are the kind of people that our MVPs and VVIPs supposed to be going around with, not our police. Our police are there for the public, not for personnel. Do you understand? MPs go to London. MPs, when they finish every day, they will enter train. They go home with train. Of course, there might be military people following them or secret service following them, but you wouldn't know. They will be disguised as normal people. But at the end of the day, you don't police a nation like that when you have less than 1 million against 250 million. 250 million rather. You can't police people by that. You need to start by non-kinetic force. You need to start by doing what is needful, keeping your own side of the contract so that the people will believe and trust in the government. I believe these words have gone out. I don't want to comment on individual issues, but there is almost insurgency and insecurity in every part of Nigeria. But what government did to although some people say that it's not an exhaustive list, there is more people that were not on that list. But what government did by listing the names of those sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria is a very well done act. I applaud them for that, because at the end of the day, we need to rise above tribalism and religious sentiment in Nigeria. We need to start telling ourselves the truth. Otherwise, we won't move forward. We need to start telling ourselves the truth. Let every personnel, every security personnel in Nigeria know those that they're supposed to be going against. Not Sunday Igboho, not Sowore, not Nnamdi Kanu. Those are civilians speaking against the ill in the society. Go and see, that's what FBI and CIA do. They go against, they find who are the financiers of those boots of ground in the forest. Once you tackle those ones, you've hit the thing at the board. But when you allow those people to be walking free, and you are saying collateral damage, you don't want to throw bomb in Sambisa Forest, who are you then deceiving? Because the kind of money these people collect in kidnapping and all sorts, it's not what they use themselves. You can see, of course, that these people, unless they are fighting ideologically and they are using it to sponsor things elsewhere, then we can understand that's their motive. But if it is for their own economic benefit, the kind of money they are making in those forests with the kind of money they are realizing from people paying ransoms, it's not for them to be tattered and be sleeping in bushes, smelling. No. So at the end of the day, the people that are the ogas at the top, these financiers, those are the people that you're supposed to go against. Where is our EFCC? Where is our ICPC? Where is all the security outfits in Nigeria? Because they are northerners. That is why if it is difficult for us to stay as one country, we divide. Because all these pretending that we are one when we're not really one, pretending that we are doing federalism when we are doing is tribalism. So what we need to do is face the fact. face the facts. If we know that one part of the country, because it's like half of the country is trying to pull towards each other, half is trying to destroy the country. So at the end of the day, that's why it's not working, because it's like 50 is pushing, 50 is pulling. So at the end of the day, we are in a stagnant, place, and we're not moving forward. We keep retrogressing, one step back, 50 steps, 50 steps back, one step forward. We need to be absolute in what our decisions is. And there's no point deploying state police unless we restructure. So we know what we are restructuring. So if we restructure back to regions, then we do regional police. If we restructure back to states, we do state police. If we restructure and say, let's have different countries in one, just like the UK have different countries and have a central government, then we do that. And then we know the kind of police system we're going to adopt. But the most important thing is that the government needs to understand that if you want to curb insecurity, if you want to have a secure country, you must keep your own side of the bargain. You must keep your own side of the contract. You must do the needful to be a very accountable and transparent government. The people will not trust you. The middle class will listen to you and have hopes. The upper class will bring out their money and develop and invest in society. What you have now is the rich class in Nigeria going to other African countries, other countries that are more stable, Rwanda, Gambia, Kenya, to go and invest. And now these countries have opened up their country that any country that is from Africa can get visa free. And that's how you get foreign investors. So Nigerians are foreign investors in other African countries, whereas in our country, we are having our businesses living. So these are the things that are supposed to be on the desk and table of the federal government. If Tinubu really mean well, the Naira is going to appreciate with airpeace coming through and what is happening in Abia State. You need to make sure that you merge these ministries, even merge the security forces, follow through on these announcements, follow through on these things, and make sure you do them. Cut your what do you call it? Your convoy. Be sure to follow through. That is the only way. If you're not strict, if you're not doing these things to the letter, people will just take your words as empty voices or empty words. And again, you need to do that student loan, because you've promised a lot of students this and they are looking up. And trust me, a lot of people cannot finance themselves in school. A lot of students are just helpless, begging people from one inbox to the other. Every day, people are begging people online for money. And we need to do better, because our country is blessed. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop here. Please share my videos. I've been having a lot of challenges with my social media handles or pages. I'm having problems. In fact, I don't have access to Facebook as I'm speaking to you. My Facebook is still blocked. So over 5.3 thousand followers on Facebook. I don't have access to that. Plus my page, I don't have access to that. But my Instagram, I managed to be fighting since yesterday to recover. My 2 phones were hacked. Two of them gone. I had to buy a new phone today, or take a new contract today. My YouTube is still up, so follow me, subscribe at Best Practices. My page on Instagram as Best Practices. I also have another page, Odera Ono, on Instagram that I created just in case, because I'm having a lot of troubles with Instagram as well. So yeah, follow through, share my videos, send my videos to anybody in politics. Like I said, my audience is really people in power, people who can take decisions. So if you have anybody in power, if you have anybody in politics, send my videos to them, let them watch it. Because at the end of the day, sometimes when I look at what is happening, I ask myself, are they getting the right advices? Are they hearing what is, the real truth? Because anybody telling you that it is deploying soldiers that will be helping these situations is not. You cannot win a lot of security issues with kinetic force. You have to employ other means. You have to make sure people are not hungry. You have to make sure people, people are well housed, well fed, are doing well. They have jobs. That way they will be engaged with their jobs. They will be doing what they're supposed to do. Then you have to use social programs as well. Football, tennis, all these healthy competitive sports. You have to engage them. Use things like gym and all of those things. There are so many things. Even religion can play a good role if you're not going there to get extremism or be radicalized. So thank you so much. I've added my 2 cents. I am so busy lately. A lot is going on in my personal life, so to speak. So when I find time, I will come. If I don't have time, please keep watching my videos. There's so many videos I've dropped. You can watch the old videos and help me share them. Thank you so much. And until next time, I remain your humble host, Odera Onu. Thank you.